What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy JDiesel back with another episode of Under the Radar, and with me, as always, my partner in crime, Grandmaster FloKey. How you doing tonight, my man?
You know what? I got no sleep last night, and then I just have oodles and noodles of energy right now. I don't know why. It just happens. But good to be back. We took a week off because Combo Breaker kind of hit everybody for a loop. Lots of blowups happened over that weekend. But we have a very special guest with us tonight. Um, we wanted to do something different. As most of you guys know, we like to have a lot of players on to represent scenes, but this time around, she's one of my good friends over from Georgia. She holds it down on commentary. You saw her at top 8 for final round, pools, and top cut for combo breaker. One of the main people over on the MK podcast, which you guys should check out right after this. If you guys want. Please
Absolutely.
welcome to the podcast Equinox's own Romanova.
Hey everyone. Howdy. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes, I
you
can.
are. You're
Okay,
perfect.
cool. I'd muted myself during that so I could munch on this like white cheddar rice cake. So
Ooh.
So good.
it's so good. Yeah, it's great to be here and hang out and talk some stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So I guess real quick, for those of you that may not, for those people who may not know you, why don't you give a little bit of a background about yourself, what you do, your spot in the role in the FGC, all that jazz.
Yeah, so I am Romanova. My name's Amanda. I like to I like go to work, and I work currently as a community specialist for Paladins, which is a game by High Res Studios.
Oh
When
wow.
I'm not doing that, I am going to the gym, lifting weights. I like to create cosplays from scratch. Do the fighting game thing. I try and support my locals. Not as I haven't been actually able to make my weeklies as much, but I've been definitely attending the monthlies. Um, Solidly still, while that's like been a struggle the last 2 months. But on top of that, I got into commentary about a little over a year ago, about a year and a half now, going on 2 years. Started with Injustice 2 and going into um, Dragon Ball. I decided to start doing that for Dragon Ball, and I really enjoyed it. And trying to think
And
of if
now
there's
you're
anything else I missed.
No,
and now
that's
you're here.
a
That's
packed
a stack of
schedule. I was
that's a
about to say
stack.
that is
That's
packed.
like that's like a full that's like if you're a college student, that's a full time classes. Like you have all the extracurriculars going on. You have a full time job afterward, and you're just like going. You see enrollment over everywhere here. And you did mention Injustice 2, and then you are also holding it down over in MK11. I know that for a fact. So you kind of been like dabbling with a bunch of stuff. We did talk a little bit off air about that. So kind of let's get into it a little bit. So talk to me. You've only been in the commentary game for about a year and a half. What kind of drew you to commentary as
So,
opposed to being a player?
well, one, there's like a big lack of like women in commentary, let alone like women who are more of the play-by-play like analysis role, I feel.
Right.
But there are women in it that have been killing it. Like one of the women I've always looked up to that commentated was Persia, and that inspired me from the time that I started being a part of the FGC, seeing that. But I never really thought I could do it, and I do that a lot. I don't want to say I have imposter syndrome, but I constantly like have a lot of doubt in myself and think that I'm
Right.
not good enough. So for a while I thought I'm not good enough to do this. Like the people, even though they're my friends that are like doing this now, like when they see me trying to do it, they're just gonna be like, "Wow, I can't believe she's even trying to do this." Like, granted, that's not the way people actually think, but like
Yeah.
in your head, you're like putting yourself down almost. And I don't know. My weeklies, I was in Chicago still living out there, and we would go to the Galloping Ghost Arcade weeklies for Injustice 2. And it was pretty easy to just try and like jump on the mic because it was very casual there.
Right.
And we would just have a lot of fun there. Shout outs to those guys. It was good seeing a lot of them at Combo Breaker because I haven't seen them since I've been in Georgia. And that's kind of where I got the groove of it. And then I started to jump on right before Chicago, like moving Chicago. I was on with the Arm, who's a really good player. We were playing Dragon Ball, like commentating Dragon Ball a little bit.
Yep.
And then it was like scary at first to like ask to jump on it in Georgia, but once I got to know everyone, it was really easy and they're very accepting here. So kind of how I started. So
Very, very
and
cool.
I just kind of figured I'd never be also a person who, no matter how much time with my, like you were saying, my schedule is like packed. I don't have enough time to be like a top player. I feel like there's goals that I still can make someday, like getting out of pools,
Right.
but I don't think I'm gonna get top 8 at a tournament because I just don't have that time to play the game like the people who are getting top 8s, top 16s, etc. So,
Right. Right.
I mean, that is definitely a way to go, and kudos to you for stepping up and like
Yes.
seeing, hey, I want to be kind of be that change that you wanted to see in the commentary scene.
Mhm.
I'm a local commentator for Xanadu. I'm friends with Sharpie,
I
so
love Sharpie.
I know she's amazing. She TOs our scene, and also we co-commentate sometimes at like big E events. So she's awesome. So I also know that you've done stuff with Exo Academy. And didn't you
Yeah.
do a session where you were working with like James Chen?
Yeah, so I actually they did like a commentary session that they set up for me, and the commentator that Persia was able to get for us was James Chen.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
that was really cool. It was cool to get, like, I've known James for a bit of time now. I think I met him back in 2016 when I did the Red Bull Battlegrounds event. Like I worked it, and he was super nice. And so it was like I think it was nice that we didn't have to break the ice. Like oh man, I'm meeting James Chen. Like it was nice to just be like, oh okay, cool. Finally, I get to get some advice from you because like normally when we talk, it's like shooting the shit, like,
Yeah.
hey,
Right.
what's up, man?
Exactly.
We're not, and so I get to like kind of pick his brain because he's been doing this for so long. So that was kind of the really nice take back from that. And now that he knows too about how much I'm like interested in it, it's like even though we'll like run into each other and shoot the shit, he will still ask like, oh, did you get to commentate? Like, how'd it go? And
Right.
it's like nice to have that now. So
That's definitely really amazing.
I
Actually, so
agree.
normally one of the things that we do is we have different when we have like a high level player or like a good commentator in this case. We like to
Right.
ask for different advice they can give to up and coming commentators or usually players, but in this case commentators.
It's
So
it's weird. It's really weird right now because like we're used to having players on. We're just like, whoa, this is weird.
no,
But this
but
is a good
it's
this
hey,
is a good weird.
same
It's a
thing,
really
different
good.
craft. That's it.
It's a good weird. It's a really good weird, and I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. Where it's like you found your niche, and like you realize like you have these goals as a player, but you found your calling in something that's like now you're doing so much. Like you did top 8 at final round, you did top 48 at combo breaker. Like you're doing all these big gigs now, and slowly getting your name more out, and like in a way that like some players might not be able to. Like some can play and commentate, and others can commentate and play. It's and not play. It's weird. So like I'm
yeah.
really happy that you've been finding your niche, and like I'm like super proud. Like I saw you on the mic, I was like, oh my god. But yeah, what advice do you have for up and coming commentators that are trying to like get on the mic at their locals and trying to find their niche in this lovely world of commentary?
Okay. The one thing I will say is I'm 100% still like, don't get it mistaken. I'm very amateur still. I appreciate the compliments and stuff like that, but I'm definitely still like I would consider myself very amateur. I do know what I'm talking about though, so I will give myself that credit. And um the big thing that I would say to people is figure out like, is this for me or am I just trying to do this cuz I think it's like I feel like some people get into it cuz they think it's going to be easy,
Right.
and that's not the reason to do it.
Yeah.
It's also not the reason to do it just as a backup. Like I wouldn't have probably stuck with it if I like wasn't if I didn't have like a certain role to play in it. And like
Right.
for me, it was finding that, oh, like I know frame data and I know these things and I know the moves and all this and I know how to call it out, and I found my like Niche is like an analytic kind of play-by-play person, which is always needed in a relationship between a commentator and their co-commentator. And I feel like for people starting out, maybe try and figure out early on like what kind of role you want to play, because there's always room for a person that's like a hype man too, but you also have to be a hype person that knows what they're talking about as well.
Yep.
So that
Yeah,
study
facts.
the game. Like if you're not, I feel like the best people that commentate and the people that I look up to that are the best commentators, they're in the lab on the game, you know?
Hmm.
And I think that's important. So definitely make sure you put aside the time for those starting out to lab the game, get to know it in depth, whether you're going to be a hype person or not, because you see like hype people like Yipes, he's one of the best, hands down, and he is a hype man, but he knows what he's talking about when he goes
Right.
off, you know? And that's how you get to that. You have to be playing the game. You can't just say, "Oh, I like this game. I'm going to commentate it." Like you have to know the game.
Makes sense.
I've heard some bad commentary.
Yeah, no, no, seriously, like I am like a really bad I'm really good at, like, cause like I also do commentary at my locals, for Dragon Ball. We do it every other week. One thing is like I'm very like the more hype man style, so it's like kind of interesting to see that take of like, do you lab Dragon Ball and MK like on a frequent as well? Cause I know you stream both.
Mhm.
But do you take the time out like off stream and stuff like that to like learn like certain things about the game?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
right now it's more MK, but like I have a notebook that literally has like when the game was first coming out, like what, crushing blow, what, the defensive options are and how defensive
Right.
meter now works in this game because it's a whole different game than
Yep.
any other MK.
It's
So
true.
that's really important to learn. The terminology. Like I'd say the one slip up I've had since starting to commentate MK11 is switching to calling a meter burn an amplify. It's literally the same thing, but it's now called an amp. Like oh, you amplified that. It's
It's weird.
but and then
It's weird.
like the frames and stuff like that for the most part. I'm not as blessed to have worked on QA for MK11, where in Injustice 2 I like knew frame data like in depth from literally looking at it every single day as my job. So
Right.
that made it a lot easier because I did work on that one. But
Oh wow.
Dragon Ball was my first anime game, so that was a little bit different to learn. So
Right.
I've definitely taken my time, like whether it was like when I was in EXO, like my sessions with the Kill Sage. I've had offline sessions with people from my locals. um, I tend to learn the most for certain things in fighting games when I'm working with other people, not just on my own. Because
Okay.
there will be stuff I get in the loop and habit when I'm doing stuff on my own. I get into a pattern where I'm not necessarily progressing, so I have to set a goal for myself. Like the other day, I finally got the real B&B down for 18, and I've been getting like at least 300 less damage with what I've been doing uh for the longest time because I was too scared to like learn it or like just too
Right.
lazy. I knew what was going on, but I couldn't do it myself. And then I finally just took the time, labbed it a bunch. While I was actually on stream, I've like learned to like people aren't gonna watch me in the lab on stream, then maybe they just don't want to watch me because that's another
Yeah.
thing. Because I see top players do it and stuff like that, and people stay there and chill with them while they're
Yep.
trying to do
Might as well.
TODs and stuff. So yeah, it is what it is, and yeah, I go in, I play the games, like I know what I'm talking about, and like I want that to show too in my, you know, there's certain characters in Dragon Ball though that I like still like. I just I need to stop being stubborn and take them to the lab because I know
Right.
what they are from other people playing them, but you never,
There's no time
you
for
get a better grasp when you actually touch them. But I
that.
don't
Right.
think I could play my PlayStation again if I ever touched Bardock on it. So.
Oh man, I was watching No Kami earlier, and like he was just shout outs to Kami. He was literally playing Bardock, GT Goku, Yamcha, and like he looked so amused. Like he lost Bardock, and he was just like, now I gotta play. Like I love you, bro. Like big ups to No Kami, but
Bro,
no, that's a really good.
that team's disgusting, dude.
That team's really strong. I think that's one of the better teams now in this meta.
Yeah, that's
Um,
straight. Yeah, vomit,
considering
dude.
yeah that's like but you kind of mentioned the Georgia FGC. I have the privilege to go down the final round this patch March. Amazing time. I had to see a bunch of people. And I kind of got acclimated with the Georgia FGC a bit. Kind of met some people through there. So talk to the people about Georgia in terms of Dragon Ball Fighters, like how, because I know you guys have people like Scraw over there,
Yeah.
and you guys have a really tight scene. So like, talk to the people about that.
Yeah, I definitely believe that the reason why I'm like as decent as I am at Dragon Ball is because of moving to Georgia and playing with the Georgia FGC. Like legitimately labbing with people like Blackwork, Scrot, Jazz Rap, Chewy, Shiro, like those people, like playing games and getting sets with them made me a better player, hands down. And they're oh my god, one of the hypest matches ever was when I'd already gone 2-2, or I'd already gone 2-1. Like I was in
Mhm.
losers. I'd already won 2 games at our local, and then
Yeah.
I had to play Max next. I literally fucking won the match, but I didn't. Okay, and
Oh,
here's
I think
why.
I remember this.
I popped off, dude. I popped off. All right, I got the
Yeah.
Dragon Rush on
I
his cell. I
Oh
got the Dragon
no.
Rush, and I popped off thinking I had hit light when
no.
like after I launched. I thought I hit light, right? I didn't hit light, dude. He was still alive with like a pixel health, dude. He had even thought he was done because it was 1-1, and that would have taken it for me. And
Yes.
everyone else, like it was like slow motion. Like somebody in the background was like, "He's not dead."
That's a
And
move.
we both looked at each other and started playing again, and it was like I choked, dude. He came back with that pixel health on cell, and he had bars. That's all he needed, dude. That was the closest thing ever. But
Oh
he
my
has that like
god.
even him himself, like he's my homie. Like he has that level of respect for me now
Yeah.
that I basically beat him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like it's like a fun thing. We had a little bit of rivalry from that after. But like players like him, he's like a very experienced Marvel player. A lot of them come from Marvel, so
Yeah.
that helps. And they're just amazing at Dragon Ball, dude. Like you were talking about Scrot. Scrot was like somebody I need to do an offline session for EXO Academy. He came over to the house and we just did a stream of me playing him online or offline
Yeah, I
with
watched that.
Gohan, teaching me some Gohan shit. And later, one of my sessions with Sage was him analyzing my session with Scrot. So
Ooh.
Oh, I did not know. I didn't know because I watched the set
yeah.
with you and Scrot, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I was watching, it, I was like, this makes sense. I didn't know Sage did an analysis on it after.
That
That's
was our
awesome.
final training session. Was an analysis of my training with
So
Scrot.
Scrot, that's
And
awesome.
and the funniest thing that Sage will like still be like, "Why are you doing that?" Is like I 2M a lot, dude.
I
With
do. I
Gohan,
know.
I
He's
like
I
to
know.
2M,
sliding.
dude.
It's so
I'm
good.
a
It
slidey
is. It's
boy,
so good.
dude.
It's such a good button.
Slidey
It's like
boy,
Bison
dude.
slide. It's I
He's like,
literally hit
"Don't do
anybody that's
that,
getting
dude."
Bison slide. It's a
He's
Bison
like, "Why
slide.
are you doing this?" Like he kept playing it over and over, like me just 2Ming, dude. He's like, "Stop this. Please stop this."
Didn't you get a GIF of that? Like
I
just
I
like
I made somebody do a gif of it recently because I was thinking about it again. I was like, uh, nobody, and then me playing Gohan, and it's
that's
literally
that's
me 2
that's
ming, dude.
that's me and the entirety of the CTFGC when it comes to Gohan. Like we just love 2M. 2M's such a good button. I love
I
it.
It
know,
is a
but
good button.
I feel like I need to use 5M more. That was one
I
he
think
like
I
was
think
telling me to
both
throw
tools
out
I
more.
think both tools are strong. I think it
Yeah,
depends on the character. I think Gohan's in a really good spot this meta where it's like
dude,
either
Gohan's so godlike.
okay, here's the thing about Gohan. Either
Mhm.
everybody's playing him or no or like there's only like 3 people playing him.
Yeah.
It's like cuz
Oh,
like back in the day like
leggy
we all
boys.
yeah, pretty much, right? It's like back in the day when Goichi like first came on like the scene for Dragon Ball. Like that was the team. Gohan, Cell, Vegeta.
Yep.
A year plus later, Goichi comes back to the same tournament. He back to back final round, one final round, which is crazy. But he didn't win with Gohan, so that was a really interesting thing I thought about when I was in the crowd. I was like, wow, he's about to win final round with Piccolo instead of Gohan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see like how the meta changed around with this character specifically. And you've been playing 18 for a while, and you can be kind of sticking. I know you switched from Goku Black to Super Saiyan Goku. Has there been
Yeah.
any other changes since
No,
your
dude.
XO days?
No, I almost dropped 18 for Trunks, man. I it
What?
The Dark
yeah, dude.
Arts?
No, it's not Dark Arts,
Whoa!
dude. I Trunks is
Whoa!
my other original bay. My original team
Oh.
was actually 18 Trunks, Beerus, Beerus just in there because he's cool, like in the show. And
Yup.
then he was trash, so I was like, oh, I gotta drop him. So for a while, I played 18 Trunks Goku Black until I discovered the magic that's Gohan, and then I dropped Gohan or Trunks for Gohan because Gohan's basically similar to Trunks with range and like the slide and stuff. So, but he was better.
Yep.
And I recently, because Trunks is good, I was about to drop 18 after the nerfs, and thank God for Combo Breaker, dude, because or not thank God, dude, thanks Shenron, bro.
Thanks,
Thanks Shenron, bro, because literally I saw Shanks playing, dude, and it's
Yeah.
the same team I play, and I was like, okay, granted I'm not as godlike as this dude, but if this guy can make my team look this good, I can still play my team. It's not like I'm playing Android 17 or something. So,
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the MVP, dude. But uh,
Let's try next year. We'll be back.
yeah,
next
let's
year.
see after the next balance patch, man.
We'll be back next year.
But yeah, 18 still viable. I'm gonna keep her. Super Saiyan Goku, I guess I'll keep him. I think Goku Black's more swaggy, but
I
Goku's
agree.
really
I
good,
agree
dude.
on that. Goku Black is definitely the swag character, whereas, Super Saiyan Goku, he's like the stable character, right? It's like, okay, this is gonna be like as simple as it gets. And any thought to GT Goku? Because everyone has been picking that character up. Literally everyone.
Busted.
And dude, there's a picture of like me and like Cloud and Sage and a bunch of people and Alcoholic Robot like watching Goichi play. I'm almost gonna 100% say it was us watching GT Goku being played by Goichi during top 8 because literally the reactions, so many people's faces are like disgusted, and then like you see like mine and like Clouds and Alcoholic Robot, and we're like the definition of like, wow, what are we watching? Because like we're smiling, and then like it gradually gets from a smile to like absolute disgust. But my like smile there is like kind of like, wow, this is actually a thing.
Yeah. And I think too with this GT Goku, I think it's gonna be interesting. And we had just had Smash and Splash this weekend. Kudos to Globo for taking it over in Wisconsin. There wasn't really any GT Gokus in top 8. The only I know notably Light that he's known for Smash. He was playing GT Goku. But it was interesting the past 2 weekends. You barely saw any GT Goku. So I feel like CEO, I kind of mentioned this off stream. I think CEO is gonna be the time where you literally get to see. It's gonna be scary because you're gonna see nothing but GT.
There's gonna be I think right now people are.
We're going to the Grand Tour, boys and girls. We're going
hey, I'm excited for the news. I really want it, but I think you're right. I think right now GT Goku is still a little too fresh. That most people, if there's money on the line, don't feel comfortable enough to take the character. Goichi's already there. Like watching Combo Breaker, he deserved to win that tournament, hands down. He played better. He played a level above anyone else. He's in my opinion right now, Goichi is the only 10 in the world. I changed it. I actually think he's the only 10 in the world. There's more 9s now, but he's the only 10.
Okay, so a follow-up question to that would be like, and this is the interesting part. We all saw this last year, right? Goichi dominated the first few months of Dragon Ball FighterZ. Came back, and then just Kazunoko ran it. So let's hope Goichi can hold it down. But our lovely guest has to run in a bit. Jay, I think this might be the time that we do the shilling.
Oh, absolutely. If you got to get going. So what we like to do is, for all of our guests, I know our time has been short but sweet.
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, not a problem.
Podcast. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Also, if you want to drop a link to your podcast in the chat, go for it. That way people could jump. Cause are you also streaming it, or is it not on Twitch?
Yeah, it'll be streaming. But if you guys are still going after this, I don't want to take. So you guys keep going, dude.
That's cool.
Nah, tonight was gonna be a short night anyway. But anyways, so take 5 minutes, shill whatever you want to talk about. Anything. It doesn't even. You don't have to shill. You can just talk about whatever you want. But we like to give our guests this time to just bring things up.
Plug.
Oh God, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for CEO though. I think CEO is gonna be a bloodbath with Dragon Ball. I think we'll see numbers get higher, closer, like as long as there's still late registration, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the first Dragon Ball event, but they haven't officially announced it yet, so I'm actually kind of nervous about that.
I'm
I agree
kind
with
of
that.
feeling that too. Are you going to be on the mic for CEO?
I don't know yet. I'm
Yeah, me
like I'm
neither.
very nervous
I
because
I
I
know too.
applied, but I have no idea. When I applied, I don't know if I can't remember if I applied before the top 8 at final round or not,
Yeah,
and if it was uh so I probably only have my original reel, which had some Dragon Ball stuff in it,
yeah.
Right.
but I don't know. I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping.
You got this.
Hey,
Hoping. Let's
I wish you the best. I said in my reel too. I hope you. If I don't get it, I hope you get
good
it.
luck to you, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'll be watching from the sidelines. I'll be like,
oh, is
that's
that
my friends. Those are my
moral
friends.
support from downtown?
From all the way in Connecticut. It's all good.
Trying, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Um,
you're killing it right now.
No, seriously.
Just keep riding the
see.
wave, keep riding the momentum, and you got this.
The thing people like, they like the Android 18 tracksuit on Friday when I was commentating pools, man. They're like 18? I was like, yeah, bro. What's up?
Let's go. Hey, you
18
gotta rep your character.
casual, dude.
Gotta rep.
Well,
gotta-
I had this plan of like if I do get to commentate any of the world tour at all, like these outfits that'll be on commentary will be all themed around different Dragon Ball characters I like. So
Oh,
I have like color themes with like business clothes like planned out for like Mystic Gohan and um like
That's OD.
uh Android 18 and like Android I already did my Android 17 one. Uh so that'll be like a fun little thing to do and see if people catch on to it. That the one thing I will say that I'm proud of is that chat's like you're not supposed to really look at chat, but chat's like kind of warming up to me now. Like before it used to be like, who's this girl? She's trash. Like get her off the mic, even though I wasn't trash. And now it's like kind of like everyone's like, oh, it's Romanova. Like they're like there's
let's
still like
go.
that one. There's still like a couple of assholes, right? But like
So
That's
for the
that's
most part,
Twitch chat it.
That's
That's
so
Twitch
good.
chat it majors. I mean I've seen pretty much every commentator I've seen get roasted in chat except for Yipes. That is the only one I've never seen it once. There was no one I've ever seen roast him in chat. Only one.
Yeah, I think the energy was like good when I commentated with Ringe. Like there was no
Yeah.
like I think I went back and watched the whole thing and there was like no negative comments about mine and Ringe's commentary. There was like a bunch of people like not that happy when I commentated with Raph, but I think it just was like the energy. I think it was like a lot. I don't think we had quite the energy as a pair as we did the last time we commentated together. Like we did a really good job together when we commentated at the Otaku Top 16 together.
Yeah.
But this one, I think I don't know. I don't know if people were tired or whatever, but there was definitely like less energy. But I still think we did a great job. Like
Yeah,
I
you
went
guys did
back and
great.
listened to it. Like one of the best matches that we commentated during that, and it was super hype. Was it was Dogura versus Cloud. That was one where like Cloud beat
Oh my god,
Dogura.
the
It was like
ending.
1-1 and then
I
went to
watched that. I
2-1.
was like,
That match was insane, dude. And it was like both of the two that were like down to the wire were Goku versus Goku, and I was just like, oh my god, how many level 3s are we gonna see, dude? This is like
got you.
the longest level 3 ever when he takes off his eyebrows. So yeah, it's fun though, and I live for that. I live for the craziness of the game, and oh my god, it's just fun and seeing some of like I like commentating even though pools is fun. The thing I love about commentating the other matches is like knowing more people in the that usually get like after top 48, like
Yep.
Right.
know those people more, so like I know their play style and like what they do, whereas like unless it's somebody from like my locals or the East Coast, like I don't know them as well as like if I lived on the West Coast, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
pools can
So
be kind of tough because you don't have that player background to kind of fall back on. Where you're like, oh, I
yeah.
know, like if I see like LK, right, or Sage, not to kill
Mhm.
Sage from Jersey,
Okay.
but like those are two people who like whenever I get to commentate them, like I love it because you get like all that player background where it can be kind of tough where you're like, I have never heard of you. I don't know who you are.
It's like,
Yeah,
whose
I don't know
mans
who
is
this man plays, dude. Like, I'm just gonna go with it, man, and hope that this is a good match and not like we're watching an online, F fest.
Those can be kind of fun to commentate,
sometimes
though.
sometimes in pools you get these matches that everyone's just dropping everything. You're like, bro, what did I just get my? This is gonna be meta.
It's like this
What did
game
I
is
get
kind of weird.
All right, he's going into it. He got the 2M into 5. Oh, he dropped it. Okay.
Aw. It's like the community. Aww.
Oh,
It's
womp
like,
womp womp.
and then you hit the TOD and like, you have the kids in the background like, yay! It's the funniest thing every time someone hits a TOD. I'm like,
One of the best things was this one dude like had Luke. His name was Luke. He had like a whole cheer section, dude. This Canadian.
Yeah,
Canadian
you give me
Luke,
bums.
dude.
Rude.
Yeah. All right, dudes. Well,
But yeah.
I appreciate your time. I apologize that I have to head out early tonight, but the Outworld calls.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for coming on today. For those of you who tuned in, I know this was a bit of a short one. Our schedule's been a little weird lately, but we'll be back on track next week. Not a problem. But be sure to follow Romanova on Twitter. Her Twitter is on screen right now. You can see that. And be sure to check out her podcast right after this. But anyways, it has been fantastic as always. I've been JDiesel.
I have been FloKey.
I'm Romanova.
And this has been Under the Radar. Peace out, guys.